Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm trying my best to get better, and it's just been very difficult for me these past few days. And I mean, I know this is the first time that we're meeting, and I don't even know where to begin. I recently got my kids taken away, and I'm trying to get sober, and I don't even know where to start.
Have you ever been in a situation similar to this, where maybe not this bad, where your kids were taken away before, but the detox process or to stopping alcohol and drugs?
I mean, I've never before been in a detox program, but I think the only thing I've ever stuck through was I was trying to lose weight for some time, and I was able to stick with that. Just, I don't know if you could even compare, but that's the only thing I can remember that was really hard for me to stick through. And, when I get cravings, I try to eat healthier. And it was very difficult.
Okay. In that situation, you had the cravings, and I'm sure in alcohol you have the cravings for alcohol. So I guess you could look at those as similar, but you had found ways to manage that and stick with the weight loss program. Yes, not eat bad food or something like that. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I think what helped me was to really visualize and think about the bigger picture, right? I would picture my goal and what I wanted, and I think that really helped a lot. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I think the goal is to get my kids back. So I'm trying to visualize. I also tried to meal prep while I was trying to lose weight. And I mean, there was a small group of women that I would talk to here and there that had the same goals in mind, which is why I think the AA group is something that has been helpful, because there's people that are going through the same thing. So hearing about their tips and what they do to manage their cravings is helpful.
Okay, well, that sounds really good. So I have a question for you. Suppose tonight you go to bed, and while you're asleep, there's a miracle, and the cravings are gone, your divorce is moving forward, all the things that brought you here today are solved. Because you've been asleep, you have no idea that this miracle has already happened. When you wake up tomorrow morning, what will be different in that moment that will tell you the miracle has taken place?
Well, I hadn't really thought about that. I mean, I think that, well, one, I'd have my kids. I'd be living in my own apartment. I'd be divorced, and I'd have a job, and I'd be happy, and I wouldn't be craving anything.
So moving towards your kids, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is everything's in line. 1 is you haven't started anything. You don't even have a plan. Where do you think you are?
Well, I think I'm at a 5.
A 5? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like nobody has really told me anything about how to get my kids back, and it's only the 10th day. So I think I'm halfway there.
You think you're halfway there? Mm-hmm. So what would a 6 look like?
I guess a 6 would look like on me knowing more information about how to get my kids back. More details, like I guess an exact timeline of how many days I need to be alcohol free, drug free.
So to move up to that 6, you would need to know, like, you have to be 30 days sober, you have to be 3 months sober, something like that. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, one of the social workers that is helping the foster my kids' foster parents probably would know.
Okay, so at least that gives you an idea of who to contact to find out what their requirements are for you to make you feel more secure in that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm willing to do it. I've honestly just not wanted to bring up the conversation because I'm scared of what they're going to say.
So have you ever did you research before on anything?
Well, I mean, I did have to research one time when I had to apply for food stamps. I got on the internet. I was able to do that. And then just when I was trying to find like local library, and my first job was as a waitress, so I was able to research for jobs. I guess if that counts.
Well, that does, because you could probably research online. So those were experiences that helped you out before, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. So you're suggesting that I research ways on how to get my kids back and just different alternatives on how to get to a 6, possibly from other people who have gone through the same scenarios, and just more contacts, right? That I can get more advice from.
Right. Find some support groups. There's probably other times that people have lost their kids having to go through this type of thing. There's support groups. And that would also help you with having a network. So I know you've talked about your AA group, and you don't have family close. Do you have a sponsor in your AA group?
I do. I do have a sponsor. They've been great. He's been very, very attentive, and there's like a phone number that I can reach him at. I haven't had to call him too many times, but he just checks in a lot with me, at least once a day. And during group, he really takes the time to listen to my feelings and what I'm going through.
So you said you have a good sponsor, and he's been helpful. Do you know if he's gone through some of these things as well?
I haven't asked him. I mean, he's made some references, so I assume that he has. He's always talking about writing down our feelings and journaling, and when we feel like our cravings are increasing, and he does talk a lot about like writing your goals down and the things that you want. So I've been trying to write a little bit more, just really hard in those moments. The last thing you want to do is grab a pen and paper. So he's taught us some breathing exercises too, and I think that that's been a little bit helpful. It's something I've never done before. I've always been pretty active. I've tried to go on jogs here and there, but breathing exercises are something very different, and I still feel like I don't really do a good job. It's hard to talk positive about yourself, especially in the situation you're in. And coming out of something like this is just makes it even more difficult.
But right there, you said it. You're coming out of this. You went through a dark time. You're making positive life changes, and they're hard. They leave us feeling like we didn't do things right, but you're really making these positive steps. I mean, making the decision to go through detox, making the decision to every single day not to drink. These are really great. So I know our time is almost up, and I want to make sure that before you go that we're on the same page with some things. We've talked about how things are going for you, what your goals are. So for some next steps type thing, you're going to reach out and do some research on plans to get your kids back, what you need to do, what your next steps are on that. Do some self-care. Take care of yourself, get your runs in, eat healthy, get some sleep. I know that's probably a lot of difficult things right now. You got some stress going on. And then making sure you turn to your sponsor when you need to and attend your meetings. Do those things sound like a good plan to you?
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of goals for the week, and they sound like they're doable. I might not get to all of them, but I'm gonna try.
You just do the best you can. I got high hopes for you. You're doing great. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
All right. See you next week.
See you next week.